Check. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This is day 7. And before we officially get going, I just want to have a couple of comments that were in the energy vortex, a couple of things that we wanted to share. Once again, today is the last day. If you choose to join the energy vortex, you can go to christywhitman.com/vortex. And as an Ascend member, you receive the replay of the Feeling Free Quantum Light Shifts. And also get if you want to continue to go with this understanding, go deeper with it, you get the 30-day program From Drama to Love that is very similar to Watch Your Words, and a ton of other features like a $47 coupon code to use in the store, as well as a quarterly Q&A with the council coming up in August. So the current Ascend and Enlighten members have access to the From Drama to Love right away after the challenge. So a great opportunity to understand the nuances. Once you understand the nuances, you know, where you're kind of sidestepping. Remember that game, the hokey pokey? You put your left arm in, you take your left arm out. Oh, wait, that's my right arm. You know, you got the picture. Right arm in, you got the right arm right? It's like sometimes it feels like, ooh, I'm going into the drama triangle. Wait, I could take myself out. And it's understanding those different nuances, understanding, oh, wait, I'm doing all or nothing thinking. Oh, wait, I'm not creating a boundary here. Oh, somebody else is projecting onto me. What am I going to choose? Am I going to play inside the victim or the persecutor or rescuer, therefore the drama triangle? It's kind of like sometimes that double Dutch game, right? It's like you're in, you're out when you play that jump rope. It's sometimes watching yourself do that. And we have that opportunity to do that several times a day. I'm going to go over that just as we wrap up today. So anyone who is an Ascend member who joins for this month, by the end of today, to end of challenge, we'll be entering into a drawing for a complimentary access to the 30 Days of Meditation series on loving and supportive relationships, which starts August 1st. So hopefully I will see all of you back here, the first, second, and third for sure, as that is a community-wide experience that we do. So couple of things. I just want to say these really great things that Beth had collected for me, and thank you, Beth. Marie said, I now get how words and thoughts are so linked into the triangle. Yes, that's so key. It's just the simplicity of the words. Notice, be aware, and stand back from the drama triangle. Fab week. Thank you, Marie. And then Patricia said, Dear Christy, it's such a great value that I've received in these 7 days. Let me go deeper to find such valuable tools to make my life better, and in this way help others to make their lives better too. Yes, from helping, not rescuing. And all I can say is that your purpose has touched my heart deeply and will expand to many more other people. I love that. For those of you that are coaches, for those of you that are healers, for those of you that are light workers, taking this understanding out into the world by living it and then helping others to understand it. I mean, what a huge wave. I mean, I choose to live outside of the drama triangle, and I definitely want to play with other people that are outside of the drama triangle. So the more of us spreading this message, the more of us living this, we all get to play together inside the energy vortex and outside, right? So that's another one. And then Beth also sent me, when I asked myself, this is from Belle, when I asked myself, what is the most loving thing I can say in this moment? It just feels good. It shifts my energy. It allows me to expand. It allows me to grow. It moves me toward being and feeling free. Thank you, Christy. Awesome, Belle. Love this. Love this, loveless. Jenny said, this experience has been awesome. I'm grateful for all the wisdom received and has landed more deeply for me. This is awesome. Couple more before we officially get going. Let's see, in day 7 video, I resonated with the idea presented that if I make a choice that I recognize is more in alignment with the perspective of the victim, persecutor, or rescuer, forgive myself immediately. Yes. And forgiveness happens through compassion. A lot of times we're like, well, how do I forgive? By feeling that neutrality of compassion, that allows us to let go of hurts and resentments, therefore forgive. So the idea of forgiving myself struck a powerful chord with me. I feel like forgiving myself opens some spaces to reflect and learn and to make better choices in the future. Yes, Karen, awesome. I love this. Joy said, I could go on and on. This is amazing. I am finding that I'm not participating in conversations that really aren't going anywhere. There's no point in getting back and forth about something that may or may not happen. Better to stay out of the triangle. Amen to that. So all of you, just for a moment, in this now moment, congratulate yourself. Honestly, just say to yourself, good, atta girl, atta boy, great job. Congratulations. You are having these moment by moment awarenesses of the drama triangle. And when you have awareness, whenever self-help author, whatever coach, with the key to transformation, they all say the same thing. They say it in different language or different words. Having the awareness is the key. So just being here and being willing to have that awareness, that's the key to transforming. And so I am honored and so grateful for each and every one of you. I am so grateful for your willingness to live outside of the drama triangle. I mean, I need more people to play with, right? Inside the circle of love. So I'm going to go through the 4 steps. We wanted, like with this last video, day video 7, was all about detaching with love. And compassion is the key to that. Because sometimes when we start moving into like the hokey pokey, right? We find ourselves moving into that drama triangle. We have to let go of the resistance, and compassion is a way to neutralize it. Now, compassion leads to love. And so even if we can't find that love for a person or ourselves or something else, we certainly can try to find or do find the compassion, right? Whether it's compassion through a soothing touch, whether it's compassionate words like, it's okay, you're okay, all is okay, or stopping and feeling an energy flow. There are many, many ways to implement compassion, but the 4 steps are: watch your words. Watching those words that are inside the drama triangle will shift everything. Watching your words is essential. The second step is understanding that we have many different options, right? When you're inside the drama triangle, you feel stuck. You've focused on the problem. You can't see the solution because your focus is on the problem. But when you start to look at, okay, what are my options here? This single act has changed my life. It changed my relationship with my husband. Whenever something comes up, it's like, all right, what are the options? Because those options and realizing that there's different choices that we can make brings us out of that drama triangle, right? We have many options. From those different options, then we can make a choice that we feel free about, that we feel free living in. And once we make that choice, right, which is the 3rd step, acknowledge your choice. I've made this choice. I've made this decision. When you make this choice, this decision, all the other stuff goes away, including the lack, including the problems, including the stuckness. I've made a choice to be healthy. I've made a choice to be prosperous. I've made a choice to be abundant. I've made a choice to be loving. I've made a choice to be well. Whatever that is, I've made a choice to do this, then everything else goes away. And from that choice, acknowledging that decision, be steadfast in that decision, in that choice, and feel all of the rest of you flowing into that choice. Flow your words, your thoughts, your emotions, right? And if you're moving along and something doesn't feel good to you anymore, something's no longer working, you have the option to make another choice. You have an option to say, that's not going to work for me anymore. So I'm going to do this instead. This way of being or this way of relating, it no longer is good for me. That's a no for me. Give yourself permission to consider yourself, because that's the key. When we are considering everybody else, and this doesn't mean go all or nothing, that you never consider anybody else ever again. I'm not saying, okay, everybody being considerate. That is not what I'm saying. When you consider yourself, you also then consider others, but you're putting yourself in your life equation. We learn from a very early age, don't be selfish. It's like, pay attention to what everybody else's needs and wants are, and then you get to keep the crumbs for yourself. No, this is your life. You need to feel good in it. When you feel good, you're connected. So you need to consider your own emotions, your own perspective, and give yourself permission. Consider yourself of how that feels to you and make choices that will feel loving to you, that will be loving to you, so that it will then be loving to others. Again, it's not about all or nothing. I'm going to consider myself, and everybody else that can go walk the pavement, right? It's not about that. When you consider yourself, when you're in alignment, you're in that alignment of love, and naturally you then consider everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. But considering yourself and making choices from that place will leave you feeling empowered. Remember, compassion leads to forgiveness, right? And connecting and being self-aware and making decisions that are right for you, that feel good for you, that will empower others. That if something that, whether you're doing in a business, something you're doing in a relationship, something you're doing with your money, when you don't feel good in it and you continue to do it knowing you don't feel good in it, but you're worried about how everybody else is going to perceive it, you're in the drama triangle. You're playing the rescuer. I just had to make a decision recently with my team, my coaching academy, the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. We've changed the way it used to be. We used to teach live classes. Now we teach, it's all online, so it's great. Someone in Australia can take it at 2:00 in the morning if they want, or someone that's in the Pacific time. It's not based on live classes. And there are tons and tons of recordings and classes that have happened since 2008. And it's costing a lot every month to keep that bandwidth and to keep that server up. And so that no longer feels good. That iteration of that QSCA no longer exists. The Evergreen does. And so I had to make a decision based on my CFO, is my husband, but my CFO and myself looking at, business expenses, what makes sense, what doesn't, talking with the team, what's the best thing that we can do, because this doesn't feel good to keep paying this money anymore when most people aren't even utilizing it. But I want to also serve the clients and make sure they have what they need. So with my team, looking at what are the options, what are the choices? If I would have said, well, everyone's going to be mad at me if we do something different, but it doesn't feel good to me. Now I'm trying to be the rescuer, and which leaves me then feeling like the victim. So from an empowered place that was very thought through, that very thoughtful, we looked at what could be a win-win for everybody, and then made choices and decisions from that place. Now, are some people going to be dissatisfied or, disappointed? Yeah, but that's theirs to process. I did the best that I could for everybody to have a win-win, right? So that's just one example. Give yourself the ability to say, this works for me and this doesn't. And if it doesn't work for me, let me consider myself and everybody else so that it's a win-win for everybody, right? When others have their own drama going on or have their own emotions going on, I'm disappointed in what you did, or I'm disappointed in what you said, or you should have done that, right? You can then detach with first compassion and then love, right? Detach from other people's emotions by feeling your own. We don't have to feel other people's emotions. We can't take responsibility for somebody else's emotions. We can only take responsibility for ourselves. It's our ability to respond. Every single day, and many times, many times a day, there is the potential to step into drama. There might be multiple ways to step into drama. Just yesterday, I was thinking about this morning. Just yesterday, I had many opportunities to go into drama. I had someone communicate their disappointment on a decision that I had to make. The decision was, like I just explained, was best for myself and the company and all those that are involved in it. It didn't feel good. So out of needing to create something new, creating a boundary, I made a decision with love, with options, a win-win for everybody. And someone else communicated their disappointment and persecuted me for my decision. That was an opportunity to go into the drama triangle. And I even called Beth and I said, I'm slipping into drama. Let's talk about this. Because I felt judged, I felt persecuted. And because I strive always, that's a word I will use for this. I always strive to serve my clients to the best of my ability and to do things out of integrity so that everybody wins. I hated that I disappointed someone. That hurts my heart. Well, that sure was an opportunity to persecute myself. So I did the best thing I could do. Compassion for myself, compassion for that person. And then I was direct, I was kind, and I was specific back in my communication. We go through that in the Drama to Love. When you're communicating with someone that's in their own drama, be direct, be specific, and be kind. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. That's huge. The second way I was able to step out of drama, and I literally could count so many different ways. I had spent a lot of time and energy and focus on making plans for my son Maxim's birthday to go to Disneyland, right? Spend a week in a Disneyland. And last night, we've already talked about when we're going, plans have already been made. All of a sudden last night, he got asked to go to a soccer tournament in Utah. And so Frederick came up to me and goes, over his birthday weekend, he has an opportunity. So without any emotion, without any drama, Frederick and I walked up to Max and said, it's your birthday weekend. What would you prefer to do? You want to go to Disneyland or do you want to go to a soccer tournament? No, I'm kidding. Do you want to go to Disneyland or do you want to go to the soccer tournament? And he goes, I want to go to the soccer tournament. As clear as clear. I mean, he knew what he wanted to do. Now, I had my own, really? Okay. So I had to go and process my own disappointment of that because I was really looking forward to that. Plus, I made all the plans, right? But I didn't let him know how disappointed I was. I didn't make him bad or wrong for making that decision. We're still going to go to Disneyland, but now on a different weekend. And yes, I will need to shift all the plans, but this is his choice. It's his birthday, right? But that would have been an opportunity to get into the hokey pokey, right? To get into the drama triangle and play the victim or even the rescuer. I did everything and now I have to go back and change everything, right? We tend to make a mountain out of a molehill when we're inside the drama triangle. So I need to make a couple of phone calls, right? He wants to go play soccer on his birthday. That's his choice. It's like the opposite I was talking about. His choice was right for him, even though I might be disappointed with it. He's made his choice and he feels good about his choice. And now we're going to do that. Right? Finally going to dinner with my family last night. My mom is so funny. My mom and dad moved out of their house 2 years ago now. Right? And I'm driving them in the car. And my mom all of a sudden goes, Chris, what happened to the iron and the ironing board? And I go, I mean, just a random thing to say. I go, what are you talking about, Mom? And she goes, at our house, when you guys moved everything out of our house, I can't find my iron in my ironing board. And I said, I don't know, Mom. I wasn't in charge of that. We could ask Frederick about that, but do you need your ironing and your ironing board? Well, no. And my dad goes, I don't want you sitting there ironing. I don't want you doing ironing. And I go, do you need it? She goes, no. And the first thing is she sees Frederick. It wasn't even like, hello, hi, Frederick, how are you? Frederick, what's happening to my iron in my ironing board? And he, like me, was like, what are you talking about? Right? This like, what did you do with it? It's very persecuting, right? And we were both kind of like, I don't, from 2 years ago. And then we're having dinner. And all of a sudden my mom goes, Chris, yes, what did you do with that soup base? Okay, Mom, I need a little context. What soup base? In our refrigerator, in our garage, the second refrigerator, there was a whole big thing of soup base. And I go, from your house that you moved out of 2 years ago? I have no idea, babe. Do you know what we did? He goes, yeah, we threw it out. Oh, well, you really, with the finger, you really missed out, right? Now that's a moment that I could have been on the defense because I'm being persecuted. I really missed out, right? And I was like, oh, okay, Mom, right? Compassion for myself. We were all laughing about it. We're like, seriously? There were so many moments that I could have stepped into drama yesterday. I mean, just into 6 different conversations I had with my son, Alex. One example is we set up a Zelle account so he could get paid from his boss, right? He got a job. And I told him, as I set this up, you need to tell your boss my phone number because it's hooked up with all our accounts, right? Give him my phone number. And his dad even said, Alex, go communicate that the Zelle number is Mom's phone number. Repeated it. He gave him his number. So instead of going into drama with him, I explained, there's an importance in listening to details because you're going to have to now wait longer to get paid because your boss's bank is going to realize that there's no Zelle number attached to your phone number. It's going to bounce back. Your boss is going to have to process it over again. His time's wasted. We don't feel heard. And Alex is going to have to wait for your tips to be paid for you. There's no drama. But it's like, this is what's happening. If you don't listen, there's some kind of consequence with that. We were very specific, right? So that was another opportunity. I told you, your dad told you, right? That was an opportunity to persecute him. No drama. At dinner last night, I shared the story of what I was sharing with all of you about during the challenge. So we're going to go a couple minutes over. And the story of my mom always needing to be right. And when we proved to her that she was incorrect, right? And she said, no, the map is wrong. Everybody laughed, right? Including my mom. And my dad, he goes, she's still the same way. She hasn't changed a bit. I could show her, this is this. And she'll go, that's wrong, right? So we need to find the humor in things and to be light about things because that also takes us out of the drama triangle. I have one little quick story before I finish up for today. Many years ago, when my son Max, he's turning 13 in September, when he was just a baby, some of you know the story, he was in the hospital. He was rushed to the hospital at 2 months of age, and he had to have open heart surgery. And Frederick's mom, after he came back from the hospital and everything, Frederick's mom was going on and on about, she's making this comment about how Maxim really liked the blonde nurses. Okay, he's a 2-month-old baby, but he really, really liked the blonde nurses. She went on and on and on about he loved the blonde nurses. And then she said to my husband, who's literally in the kitchen, we're preparing brunch, right? She says to my husband, he's like you, Frederick. He loves blonde women. Now, I might have some blonde highlights, but I am very much a brunette. And we both kind of looked at each other like, and I even did this with my hair. I went, he's married me. Oh, okay. So the next holiday, which I think it was like Father's Day or something like that, I got a shirt made for Frederick, said, I like blondes. And when he was opening it up, I put on this blonde wig, right? So we joke about these things. We make light about comments or rude comments or, unconscious comments, right? Like make light about it. The other day, Alex was saying about how he liked this girl and she had brown hair, brown eyes, right? And Frederick joked and said, well, I love blondes, and then winked at me, right? So these are moments of making light about heaviness. You can bring light into any situation in any subject, right? I have also made a little comedy routine yesterday. I'm like, I have a pimple on my face. I'm breaking out. I'm like, come on now, either wrinkles or pimples, but make a decision, right? It's not right to have both, right? Be light about it. So understand that contrast could be a pimple to a very rude, hurtful, unconscious comment, all the way to a trauma like the death of a loved one. And the choice is always ours, how we want to be with that contrast. If we resist the contrast, we're in drama. Release the resistance, and then you flow with all of your power and all of the power of the universe. Every single one of these, and there were so many others I could list, right? Our lives are filled with moments of contrast and moments of great beauty and flow and cool things to see and fun moments to have. All of these are contrasting moments are opportunities to go into the drama triangle, because any contrasting experience can happen at any moment, any day. And it does have the potential to bring us to suck us into the drama triangle. Contrast happens, but the resistance to the contrast is what brings us into the drama triangle. Release the resistance and you avoid the triangle. Go into the resistance and you're inside the drama triangle. But remember, even when you notice you're starting to go in, you can always neutralize yourself and get out. Even if you got all the way, like you got right in, you played into one of those roles, and then you go, that could have had a V8. It's like, oh, I'm in it. Okay. It's never too late to step out of it. Compassion is what allows you to neutralize. And then you choose a different way of relating, of speaking, of communicating, whatever it is. The answer, the key, is to stay connected to yourself, to your divine self, as best as you can. And are we always in 24/7 connected to our divine self? No. We got bills to pay. We got kids to raise. We got got to drive somewhere. We got the 3D that has infinite ways of contrast showing up, but it also has infinite ways of beauty and laughter and light and fun and joy and connection. So connect with yourself. Be aware of your own words, your thoughts, your perspectives, your emotions. Look at your options. Make a choice and decide whatever you're going to decide with love. Who do you want to be influenced by? Your divine self, or someone, or even maybe a part of your lower self that's in the drama triangle? That's always a choice as well. So I appreciate you all. Give yourselves a big hug. Give yourselves a big round of applause. I mean, congratulate yourself, celebrate yourself, continue to post into the energy vortex. I love everybody in this energy family, and we'll see you very soon. If not, on August 1st for our first meditation. Have a wonderful day, everybody.